So the Chiefs are a team full of surprises recently because after it was announced they officially signed one receiver today, they surprisingly placed another receiver with no injury history this season on injured reserve. Well, that caused many to look at this situation a bit side-eyed, so I've got to dive into that, DeAndre Hopkins and his introductory presser with the media, as well as his first practice with the team today, and much more. But first, how about those? All right, first up, wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins is now officially a Kansas City Chief as of today. Yesterday, the trade was announced and deal was in place with Hopkins flying in, but he needed to pass a physical. Well, at 10:25 a.m. this morning, the Chiefs' official X account tweeted out, "Officially official," with a photo of DeAndre Hopkins on there. Adam Schefter then confirmed he passed his physical, not Adam, but DeAndre Hopkins, okay, in case you needed clarity, and that was the last check mark needed to get this deal done. So the Chiefs take on roughly $2.5 million of a cap hit for D-Hop and only have to give up a fifth. That could become a fourth-round pick, which is a hell of a deal for the team, all things considered. D-Hop spoke with the media today as well, and we'll get to that here in a bit. But once you pass a physical and a trade like that becomes official, you've got to add said player to the active roster. Well, the problem for the Chiefs was 53 players were already on there, so it was full. So you either need to waive somebody, release somebody, or put somebody on IR in order to make room for him. And they did surprisingly place somebody on IR. It wasn't Juju Smith-Schuster or Mike Dana either, the only two players who didn't practice during yesterday's practice. The most surprising thing about the player they did place on IR is that he hasn't been on the injury report all year, and he was a full participant in yesterday's practice, and that was Skyy Moore. Andy Reid spoke with the media today and shared that Skyy Moore came in with a core muscle injury yesterday. They had him evaluated and he's going to need that fixed. So they are placing him on IR where he will miss at least the next 4 weeks. Now, Jesse Morse of Injury Experts shared that core muscle injuries are typically a sports hernia that requires surgery to fix, and most players take about 4 to 6 weeks to return from a surgery like that. Well, of course, this drew a mixed response from everybody because Skyy hasn't been playing well at all, recording no receiving stats this season on 3 targets. The most interesting thing for me is the timing of Skyy being placed on IR with this core muscle injury. Again, he fully participated in yesterday's practice, but Andy Reid said he came in with a core muscle injury yesterday, so something isn't adding up unless he did this during practice. Who really knows, to be honest? Then when you combine all that with the fact that Skyy was placed on IR the same exact day that a wide receiver trade became official, it's easy to see why many people don't really think this injury is real. Carrington Harrison of 610 Sports said the Chiefs went to Skyy Moore and said, "We need that roster spot, big dog." Well, I joined in on the fun as well, saying that this was Skyy's reaction when he saw the news. Like, me? What? Huh? And there were many other similar comments rolling with this line of thinking. Now, to be clear, if this injury is real and Skyy Moore really did get hurt, then I do wish him well in his recovery and hope he catches on somewhere else with some other team next season, because I truly think the experiment has been a failure and KC needs to move on from Skyy altogether. If this was their respectful way of cutting him, letting him move on next season, even though he has 1 more year left on his rookie deal, then so be it. And even though he has a year left on his contract after this year, I would be extremely surprised to see him on the roster in 2025. Either way, that's next season. The Chiefs are now currently focused on the present, which is chasing 3 Super Bowls in a row. So Skyy is out for now. That obviously freed up the roster spot needed to bring DeAndre Hopkins into the fold. And not only did he speak with the media today, but he was indeed seen out there at practice wearing a new number. So I've got to talk about why D-Hop chose that number and why he's excited to be on this team. But before I get to that, if you're looking for the app that'll get you all the best Chiefs content in one place, like podcasts, HBTC videos, what's up, articles, tweets, even no-fee tickets to Arrowhead, and awesome rewards like signed jerseys just for consuming content within the app that you already do as a Chiefs fan anyway, then look no further than to today's sponsor, Autograph. This is honestly the only place you need to be for every piece of Chiefs content you need, and I'm happy to announce that my friends at Autograph opened up a room for me. It's kind of like a Discord server so we can chat and hang out on game day. I'll be in there before every game for the next month, roughly 55 minutes or so before kickoff, including this Sunday before the Raiders game. I'll be there to answer any pregame questions and get hyped with you all before the game takes place. So come hang out with me by joining the app if you haven't already. Now, one of my favorite autograph features is their daily morning brew-esque everything you need to know about the Chiefs update called Replay. Every morning, Replay generates a quick-hitting summary of the previous day's news so you can easily keep track of the most important Chiefs updates every single day. So what are you waiting for? Download the app today by searching your preferred app store, scanning the QR code on screen, or clicking the link in the description. And don't forget to use my referral code HBTChiefs, and I will see you in the official How About Those Chiefs room this Sunday before KC curb stomps the Raiders. Next up, Andy Reid said that the team is excited to have D-Hop here in KC. He's a proven player over the years and will work in the spots that Juju and Rashee Rice did. Obviously, that means it's going to be a lot of work in the slot on the inside, even though D-Hop has played like 75% of his snaps on the outside. But he really is a versatile guy that can sort of just do it all. He will definitely help the team in two key areas, on third downs and in the red zone. The Chiefs have struggled in scoring inside the 20 the past 2 seasons in particular, even though they were great last week against the Niners, scoring 4 of 5 times inside the 20, and D-Hop is going to prove to be a valuable asset down there for him. Right now, the Chiefs are tied for 25th in the red zone. Meanwhile, D-Hop has averaged a touchdown 63% of the time he's caught a pass in that area since 2017, which is pretty freaking crazy. So basically, when down there, just throw D-Hop the ball if you want to score. On top of that, he has elite hands, boasting a career drop rate of less than 4%. And no, that's not a typo. Andy also complimented Hop's ability to work in space, with him being a tough matchup for others based on his size and arm length. They're going to take his strengths and they'll work those into the scheme to best utilize him. But of course, they're not going to change up the entire offense in the process. He's going to get worked in. The question is, how soon will D-Hop be ready? Well, Andy Reid made it seem like he's going to play this Sunday in some capacity against the Raiders. Quote, I mean, why wait, right? If he can handle it when putting him in that position, he's going to play. It probably won't be a ton of snaps, but I'm sure he'll see a few targets for sure. Offensive coordinator Matt Nagy is also excited to have D-Hop here, labeling the trade a win-win situation. They want to ramp him up the right way, but the experience that Hop has is really going to help. He can read defenses very well, both against zone and man, and that confidence is going to help bring him up to speed sooner than some others would be able to do. The key right now is for Mahomes and Hop to build rapport and DeAndre to learn Mahomes' timing and preferences compared to quarterbacks he's played with in the past. They are basically going to have him drink through a fire hose today, Friday, and all day Saturday to get Hop as prepared as humanly possible for this Raiders game. Ultimately, the goal is to keep building him up so that by the time the playoffs come in January, Hopkins is a full go and can operate at every receiver position without even having to think. I'm confident that does happen, by the way, and plus, Juju should be back within the next couple of weeks, and maybe even Hollywood Brown, fingers crossed, could return in January, which would mean great things for this offense from a pass catcher perspective. Now, D-Hop spoke with the media today as well in his introductory presser of sorts, saying off the bat that he's always been a fan of Pat, staying in touch with him throughout his career, so he's excited to get started with the Chiefs. He said he was excited when he got the news that he was being traded to KC, a contender, and thanked the Titans for allowing him to be traded here. They could have traded him anywhere after all, so he is grateful for that. He then said wherever the coaches need him, he's here to help the team win games however they want to use him, even if that's as soon as this week.
I've been in the NFL for 12 years, so I know football, so hopefully I can go out there and make some plays wherever I'm fitted, wherever I'm needed.
D-Hop's especially grateful to play some meaningful football again come playoff time, which is something he hasn't been able to do in recent years.
Knowing that you're playing for something, it takes your game to a different level. I haven't played meaningful football in a couple years since, we probably started 8-0 in Arizona. Just playing meaningful football in January is, what's left on the list.
Well, don't worry, Hop. You'll definitely be playing some meaningful football this season and might even be able to get yourself a Super Bowl ring. I also want to note that DeAndre is going to be wearing number 8 out there on the football field in honor of Kobe Bryant. That's one of his favorite athletes of all time and why he chose that number. So that obviously means Justyn Ross, who previously wore that number, is switching to number 82. So when you see number 8 out there on the field, that's the Chiefs' new weapon in DeAndre Hopkins. This was confirmed during the media look today, as you can see here, with D-Hop wearing number 8 as he went through drills, and man, I cannot wait to see this man out there on the field. But let me know your thoughts on DeAndre Hopkins and him being welcomed to the Chiefs today. How much of a impact do you think he's going to have on the field this Sunday? You think it might be a few targets, or could he surprise us all and have much more? So with all that being said, that's why I titled this video what I did. The Chiefs got better by making this surprising move. If Skyy is really hurt, it's not ideal, but Skyy is now out. That is kind of addition by subtraction. D-Hop is now in. Everybody in there, mom, me, you, Alex over here editing, we are all excited to see D-Hop out there on the football field. Next up, we've got to get into the Chiefs injury report because we do have a player trending in an upward direction. Some really good news there. Meanwhile, we have a couple Raiders, key Raiders players that are trending downward and might potentially not be playing in this game. For starters here, if you look at the Chiefs injury report, Mike Dana and Juju Smith-Schuster both did not practice Wednesday or Thursday. That is not new news here, okay? New news, it's not. So they are trending towards not playing at all. Meanwhile, running back Kareem Hunt, who was limited on Wednesday, was upgraded to a full participant on Thursday. And that's great news because yesterday was kind of like a walkthrough practice. Today was a bit more intense. So we should be all good there with Kareem Hunt and whatever hip injury he's nursing. Everybody else on here was a full participant both Wednesday and Thursday. Aside from Justin Reed with the hand, he has no designation for practice today. So I don't know if that means his hand is just good now and he's fine. I don't really know what that means, but I'm not too worried about Justin Reed and his hand right now. Now, the thing to look at with the Raiders, this is where it gets interesting. Two key players that I said to keep eyes on were defensive end Max Crosby, who's dealing with an ankle, as well as their main wideout target, Jakobi Meyers, who's also dealing with an ankle. Well, Wednesday, Max Crosby was full, but he did not participate today. I can't find out anywhere online right now if that's due to some setback on Max's part or if he's getting a little bit of rest time. I do think he plays, but it is worth noting that he was full yesterday at practice and did not participate at all in today's practice. And Jakobi Meyers, he was limited Wednesday, downgraded to did not participate today. So he is once again trending with this ankle injury to not play in his third straight game for the Raiders. That's going to be a tough loss for their offense. It is really going to have to funnel most of it once again through Brock Bowers. So with all that being said, I'll do a full preview of this game tomorrow. We'll get the final injury report and all that, but let me know your thoughts on it and how things stands as two players are trending downwards. Meanwhile, the Chiefs have a player trending upward. Notably, Skyy Moore was not on there because he was placed on IR today. If you're on IR, you don't have to be shown on the injury report. Anyway, with all that being said, that's it for today. So until next time, let's go. Let's freaking go. How about those?